I spoke to a conference on Friday, and after I gave a presentation, and this was not about politics, this was about an issue. The person said, what's your planning horizon? And without missing a beat, I said 30 years. Now, that doesn't mean that it takes 30 years to accomplish everything, but it means that we have to be thinking about who we're going to be, what our communities are going to be, what our state's going to be on a broader horizon than tomorrow's Hartford Current or the start of the next session. And if you're not going to build a better system, then you're never going to have a better system. I'm very proud of being mayor of a city that, for all of our city buildings and Board of Education buildings, since 1998, we used 19% less energy than we did in 1998. That kind of low-hanging conservation effort engaged now on a statewide basis will actually have a positive impact on rates, because we are in the most congested electric delivery system and the highest cost system in the nation. Secondly, I play a direct role. I think we need a Department of Energy. We need to be proactive as opposed to simply regulating that which currently exists. And I particularly mean that we need to be engaged in cogeneration and making fuel cell technology as an alternative and other alternatives, solar and wind, available in the state of Connecticut. And I believe that the governor has a role to play in bringing all of those things about. And I know as a mayor, I've done some of that. I have 3 major solar installations in Stamford. And one of those installations in a school will supply at certain times as much as 68% of the energy required in the building that it's being put on top of. You know, we're not New Mexico. I wouldn't debate that with you, or Arizona. On the other hand, we are better than most of Europe. And most of Europe is more heavily invested in solar systems. And the solar systems that probably have the most potential for where we are thermal solar systems, which we haven't even begun to work with. But we could work with other things as well, instant hot water, and making that affordable and eligible for buy-downs for cost purposes. So there's lots of things we could be doing as a state. We are high cost, very high energy costs. That is a particular reality. But we have other costs that are associated. We have a terrible transportation system. Terrible transportation system that adds cost every single day. It's an added tax on doing business in Connecticut. We don't coordinate investment between our private and public education systems in areas of higher learning, in areas that are most likely to produce jobs. You know, just a few months ago, actually about 7 weeks ago, the fellow who cloned up at UConn passed away, right? But by the time he had passed away, and when he did that, Connecticut led in that science, in that field, in the nation. By the time he died, we had dissipated that possibility. Those doctors, those support personnel had moved to Singapore, had moved to California, had gone to other universities and research institutions, and created jobs everywhere they went. And they didn't do it here. I'll put it on another horror story. Pfizer moves to New London, and they go to the University of Connecticut and say, well, you know, we need our doctors to stay, our engineers, our scientists, our doctors to stay current. We want you to come to our campus and offer classes. On our campus, we'll provide the class, we'll do everything. They don't get an answer. So who gets hired? University of Rhode Island. Now that wouldn't be so bad, except remember that Pfizer has lots of institutions and employee centers in Rhode Island. Next time they're going to enlarge someplace, where are they going to go? I mean, these kinds of compounding that shrink the economy and make it impossible to do the things that I want to do. You can't do everything I want to do in the first year. Just as 14 years after I became mayor, we're finishing things today that we hardly envisioned were possible 14 years ago. But if you don't start, it doesn't happen.